Good. All right, we're streaming. Hey, what's up, everyone? Just trying to give you guys a little bit of a short little update on the severe weather risk for tomorrow, and then we're also going to be discussing this big Arctic blast that's going to be affecting most of the country, and also this possibility of a winter storm on Sunday. But there's also going to be a winter storm definitely on Friday into Saturday. I'll have more information on that in just a few minutes. I'm just going to do a live stream. I don't really want to make a video this morning. Apologies, my throat can't speak in the morning that good. Let's go ahead and get into the severe weather risk because that's our major concern right now. Let's go ahead and pull up the Snow Prediction Center website right now. Hold on. There is a day one outlook for today. Enhanced risk, very small enhanced risk, I might add. I'm not prepared for my live stream. Where is Epic Pen Tool? Okie dokie. Very, very small enhanced risk right here over in central portions of Arkansas, all the way down in northern portions of Louisiana and eastern portions of Texas and south, a very, very small slither of southeastern Oklahoma. Very, very small risk. Let's go ahead and switch that there so you can see it a little bit better. Now you can see my Epic Pen. Cool. And there is a 10% hatch risk for basically encompassing the enhanced risk that I previously said. For the tornado risk, some cities in larger population centers is Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana, Hot Springs, Arkansas, Texarkana, Texas, and Texarkana, Arkansas. So if you live anywhere in there, you guys are in a 10% hatch risk. This is I'd say that's pretty significant. Well, it is pretty significant for the chance of some tornadoes today. Then there's a 5% risk accompanying the 10%, and then there's a 2% risk. Wind is a 30% risk, and a hail, which is a 15% hatch risk for portions of southeastern Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, and northwestern portions of Arkansas. It's only a 15%, but it is a 15% hatch, so it's a pretty substantial threat going into today. Severe thunderstorms associated with tornadoes, wind damage, and isolated large hail are likely to develop across parts of the Texarkana or Arklatex this evening. Man, I cannot speak. I apologize. Let's not go and take a look at snow. Let's go and take a look at the HRRR and push it out over there. So for later today, it looks like around later this afternoon, there's going to be a little bit of a squall line develop over in portions of Texas, a little bit portions of Oklahoma, and over in northwestern portions of Arkansas. Depending on the prefrontal convection on this squall line, you could easily have some supercells pop up. Like these right here could easily be maybe tornadic, just depending on the wind parameters and all that. And then it really starts to develop into a squall line. But then you get some prefrontal convection over in southern portions of Arkansas and all the way down into northern portions of Louisiana. This could easily be tornadic in some way. Obviously, with the wind profiles that are coming in today with around 60 knots of wind shear, that's pretty impressive for the amount of thunderstorm development and tornado development. Pretty good instability with around 1,000 joules per kilogram, so it's pretty good. But just depending on the prefrontal convection behind this squall line right here, any prefrontal convection will be in an untapped air mass, and that means they're basically in their own environment. They can tap into the volatile severe weather environment, and they can obviously produce tornadoes. Anyway, sorry about that. And then this starts to move into a major squall line across a good chunk of the lower Ohio Valley into the mid-Mississippi Valley. And then it starts to move off around later into Saturday, early Saturday morning. And then it's out of our hair. There is also a severe risk for the Deep South for tomorrow. Let's go and take a look at the Day 2 outlook. There's a large enhanced risk for portions of eastern portions of Alabama, central portions of Georgia and over in basically almost the whole state of South Carolina and western portions of North Carolina. This also includes a slight risk for portions of Tallahassee, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, Birmingham, Alabama, Raleigh, North Carolina. I mean, it's a pretty big slight risk, let's put it that way, across a large chunk of the United States. Tornado risk is another 10% hatch risk across portions of central portions of Georgia, eastern portions of Alabama, and central portions of South Carolina. Wind risk is a 30% hatch risk, and hail is just a normal 15% risk. This looks more of a tornado and wind-driven risk, which is obviously never good. Some places that are in the 10% hatch risk are Montgomery, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia, Columbia, South Carolina, Macon, Georgia, and Albany, Georgia. Places in the wind is Columbus, Georgia, Columbus, South Carolina, Macon, Georgia, Warner Robins, Georgia, and Auburn, Alabama. So if you live anywhere over in the significant severe risk and that 30% risk, and obviously also in the tornado risk, obviously please take your precautions now. This could easily be a not good situation in terms of the amount of tornadoes and all that. Now, I've been looking at the models recently, and it looks kind of a messy convection mode. We don't really have a good warm sector, which that means we don't really... dew points are kind of lacking a little bit. I mean, yes, we have around 65 dew points, but mainly the good dew points are going to be behind that QLCS that I just showed. There's going to be a squall line. Remember that squall line's coming out of Arkansas? That's going to continue pushing over into the country, and obviously the best dew points are going to be with this squall line. But anywhere out in front of the squall line, you're not really going to be having that good amount of moisture. So we don't really have a good warm sector for this setup. Now, if we did have a good warm sector, see, we only have around 50 temperatures, 55 degrees. I mean, that's not good. That's not really that good. 40s over in South Carolina and eastern portions of Georgia. Not really good warm sector for in terms of severe weather. Yes, we have around 65 dew points. That's good. But it's not going to be that warm. And you can't really have that much severe weather if it's not that warm, obviously. Taking a look at the 500 millibar height, it's really going to increase with around 80 to almost 90 knots of around some good mid-level shear up over in the lower portions of the Mississippi Valley. 121 knots over in portions of Tennessee, northern Mississippi, and northwestern portions of Alabama, Take a look at the 850 millibar heights. This is wind shear. A lot of wind shear over in portions of Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, anywhere over in the crappy warm sector. You guys are going to have some good wind shear. The kinematics for this setup are really good. That's like 500 millibar maps, wind shear, speed shear. So the amount of wind profiles is extremely good for this setup. It's just the warm sector that we're lacking, and the amount of forcing for the storms is also kind of lacking. But good kinematics, good wind shear, just not a lot of warm temperatures. You can't really have that much thunderstorms if you can't have that much warm temperatures. Let's go and take a look at the mixed layer cape. Not really that much, only around 1,000 joules per kilogram, but then again, you don't really need that much. Please stop. But I also want to mention this. Where the low pressure tracks, there's also going to be a cold course setup. Where the low tracks, it's also going to carry a risk for severe weather. The low pressure is, why can't I forgot I can't pull it up with the engine. I can't pull it up with the HRR. The low is going to track a little bit. Here, I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm so sorry. I'm not in it. I'm not with it today. The low is going to track over portions of Kentucky, western Kentucky, central Kentucky. There's going to be a cold course setup with this severe weather risk. And it does look like we could have some potential severe weather over in western and central portions of Kentucky. This is 3 kilometer above ground cape, around almost 200 joules per kilogram over in western portions of Kentucky. And then if you go into the Pennywile region, it looks a little bit more stout in terms of severe weather across the Pennywile region, with almost around 300 joules per kilogram, which is above ground level Cape. Please stop. I'm sorry, my Twitter is going crazy right now. National Weather Service is retweeting everything known to man. As I was saying, cold core setup across Kentucky. You guys could easily see the potential for some severe weather over in this highlighted area that I just pointed out. You could. But is it going to be as good as being down over in the southeastern portion? Probably not, but still, there's potential. Do not sleep on this. Don't sleep on cold core setups. Never let them, because you never know. The southeastern portion of the severe weather setup could easily go to crap, and then the cold core setup could go up significantly. We don't know. Now, in terms of dew points and moisture over in the cold core setup, obviously it's not going to be that great with only around 50 dew points. Not really that good dew points. Moisture. Take a look at the temperatures. Still not that great. It's down there, but then again, with the cold core setup, look at this. We have a little tiny band of around 50, almost 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That's going to stretch across with this squall line right here, and it's going to progressively move east. Wherever these 60-degree temperatures, almost 60-degree temperatures will be the primary area of the potential for some severe weather across the cold core setup, and that also includes down the deep south. Anywhere along this line could also this would be the main area of some severe weather. Western Kentucky, Central Kentucky. Just be a little bit prepared for the possibility of some severe weather. Don't let it catch you off guard. No one's really talking about it, but I am. I mean, there's some other people obviously talking about it. Most people are talking about the deep south. I live up in Kentucky. Obviously, I'm paying attention to the cold core setup. But also, the main show is obviously down the deep south. So if you live anywhere down the deep south, like in portions of Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, northern Florida, but also if you live over in western Kentucky, central Kentucky, and also maybe even northern Tennessee and central Tennessee, obviously just be a little bit weather aware, please. Do not let cold core setups, don't let them catch you off guard. Yes, the main show is down the deep south, but also don't get caught off guard up here. Let's go ahead and take a look. I actually want to go ahead and take a look at the risk. They have expanded the marginal risk. The Storm Prediction Center, originally the marginal risk was all the way down here, like down here, but they shifted it northward because of that cold core setup for this factor. Tornado risk does not go up here, but the wind and the hail, it's just only the wind, but yeah, we'll obviously be keeping an eye on that. But yeah, oh man, speaking of what, definitely just be mindful for tomorrow, weather aware for tomorrow, and especially over today. 2 days, hence risk for today over in central portions of Arkansas, northwestern portions of Louisiana, and portions of Texas, and all the way over in Oklahoma. 10% hatch tornado risk. Very small though, but just please be careful. There's a very narrow window of that severe weather and tornado risk, mainly tornado risk. Tomorrow does seem to be the main show in terms of tornado. Large area of 10% hatch risk, 30% hatch risk for wind, and around 15% risk for some hail. All right, let's go and take a look at, I want to pivot and move to the possibility of a major winter storm. I love talking about winter. My eyes see, I've been kind of upset. I live over in Kentucky, as I said before, and kind of upset that the models have been kind of not really been my friend in terms of snowfall over in western portions of Kentucky. I want to go ahead and point out the winter storm aspect. This big winter storm that's going to be coming through on Sunday is going to be bringing in a lot of cold Arctic air. There are a large chunk of the United States. Look how cold it's going to get on Tuesday. This is Monday. Look at the United States. Large expansive area of just negatives. This is actual temperatures. This is not temperature anomalies or wind chills. This is temperatures. The northern and central United States, bundle up, people. Bundle up. I mean, that's crazy. Over in Chicago, it's going to be -6. Over in Indianapolis, it's going to be 10 degrees. Over in Paducah, 20 degrees. Oklahoma City, -13. I mean, that's insane. I mean, over in Nebraska, -10. So North and South Dakota, -13, -15. Portions of Montana, -18, -19, -22 over in portions of Montana near Whitefish. That's really insane. So this is going to be a major, major Arctic blast. Last year in December, the Christmas Arctic blast that we had something like this, but it did not last this long. It did not last this long. This Arctic blast looks like it's going to last for at least a week. And this Arctic blast is also going to recycle. See, it gets really potent, and then it starts to die down a little bit on Wednesday, and then it starts to recycle and starts to pump out more. But the reason I'm bringing this up, let's go and take a look at the wind chills before I start speaking about our winter storm aspect. I mean, look at this. Wind chills across the United States. Waking up on Tuesday morning, -28 over in portions of Iowa, -29 over in Des Moines, -30 over in Peoria, Illinois, -5 over in Paducah, -6 over in Indianapolis, -17 over in Oklahoma City. I mean, oh my gosh. Excuse me. Why did I think that was Oklahoma City? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. -17 over in Kansas. Man, my geography. -8 over in Oklahoma City. Excuse me. I mean, -20 over in Wabash, Minnesota over here. -20 over in Green Bay, Minnesota. I mean, crazy stuff. 3 over in Kalamazoo. -24 over in Chicago. I mean, very, very, I mean, it's going to get so cold where the wind chills are just going to be unbearable. I mean, please take precautions now across the northern, central, and Ohio valleys, Mississippi valleys, Midwest. Please take precautions now to protect your life, protect your plants, animals, cars. I mean, this is going to be a very significant cold blast. I mean, I don't say this lightly. Like, I'm talking about dangerous to potentially life-threatening cold temperatures if you guys are not protected enough and have good, shelter from this storm. Not really storm, but more so cold air. All right, let's go ahead and move this out. There's going to be a new winter storm on Saturday. Let's go ahead and bumper over to the midwestern portions of the United States. There's still been some inconsistencies with the storm system. 975 millibar snowstorm for portions of northern Illinois. Basically, the whole state of Michigan and over in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Very, very strong winter storm for portions of Michigan, Minnesota, and over in I can't think this morning. I'm sorry, but very strong winter storm going on with some potentially ice over in portions of Michigan and also some mixed precipitation on the outline of the snow. 975 millibar, and also in the middle, it's going to be a warm setup, so there's going to be some rain over in central portions of Indiana and also over in Ohio. Now, I also want to point out the snowstorm for the Ohio Valley moving into Sunday. This one's a little bit more concerning because it's going to be working with that Arctic air. Let's go and pull up the Arctic air, and then we'll also pull up the we'll pull up the winter storm while we're at it. So the Arctic air, this is on Monday, early in the morning. Around 14 degrees over in Paducah, Kentucky. 14 over in Jonesboro, Arkansas. 15 over in Little Rock. 0 over in St. Louis. These are temperatures. With the winter storm that's moving through on Sunday, look at all the snow. Any precipitation that falls with this winter storm will be snow, regardless. Now, the further south you go down, with the more temperatures just being a little bit more warmer because of the Arctic air and it being shallow, does not travel that fast. You're going to get in a little bit more of some freezing rain and the mixed precipitation for portions of northern Louisiana, portions of Texas, southern portions of Arkansas. You guys are under the risk for some possibly freezing rain. And then there's also going to be some mixed precipitation. So the further south you go, you'll be more in a mixed area of some precipitation. But the further north you go, over in central portions of Arkansas, northern portions of Arkansas, western portions of Tennessee, western Kentucky, maybe even central Kentucky, the Boot Hill, Missouri, southern Illinois, southeastern Indiana. Obviously, you guys are going to be under the gun for some snow, especially over in central Arkansas. Potentially some heavy snow over in central Arkansas, and this will also stretch over into western Kentucky and central Kentucky. Now, this does like to stick around for a while, so it starts to start around early Monday morning, and then it's going to snow pretty much mostly whole day over in Monday. You also could have some back-end energy with some potentially lingering snow showers into late Monday night, and then it starts to move out, and then it's going to get freaking cold. Very, 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 very cold. The highs for Tuesday are going to be 9 degrees over in Paducah, Kentucky, 8 over in Jonesboro, 11 over in Little Rock, 3 over in St. Louis, and 10 over in Indianapolis. 8 over in Indianapolis. Very, very, very cold temperatures. I mean, whatever snow falls is going to stick, and the more snow you get, snowpacks. Having snow on the ground is actually going to make it even colder, and combined with the wind chills and the very, very, very gusty winds that are going to be accompanying this winter storm, we could easily have possibly even blizzard conditions, snow squalls across the Ohio Valley. It's just something to really look out for. It is kind of concerning. For the 6 through 10 day temperature outlook, very, very below average temperatures for a large chunk of the Ohio Valley and just a large chunk of the United States. Just in general, around 90 to 100% below average temperatures for the Ohio Valley, especially where the biggest cold blast is going to be. I want to point this out. This is a special weather statement from the National Weather Service office in Paducah. If temperatures do not, I'm just going to go ahead and paraphrase this portion of the special weather statement. If temperatures do not rise above freezing Saturday, it is expected to mark the first of 5 to 6 days where temperatures will not rise above freezing. Lows Saturday through Tuesday night are forecast to fall into near the single digits. Below zero wind chills are likely most of Monday and Tuesday. This extended cold snap will be dangerous to those without adequate shelter and will likely challenge plumbing and other cold-sensitive infrastructure. Accumulating snow remains possible Monday, but forecast amounts have trended a little lower and will remain subject to change for the next few days as more data becomes available. And this is basically for portions of the Ohio Valley. You could also include Arkansas and western Tennessee in this special weather statement. But yeah, this is a very extreme cold blast. I want to go and take a look at the 24-hour snow for this system coming through. This is one run of the European. They have been flip-flopping so much. Yesterday they were trending like we're going to get 10 inches of snow. Then yesterday evening we were going to get 2 inches of snow. Now they're saying we're going to get around 4 inches of snow, and especially over in central Arkansas, near Jonesboro, Little Rock, around 5 to 6 inches of snow. Western Kentucky, around 4, maybe even 5 inches of snow. Pennyroyal region of Kentucky around 4.2 inches to 3.8. Basically, wherever the largest corridor of the heavy snow is going to sit, you're going to get the most snow. And we don't have to worry about, oh, it might be a little bit warm, it might not snow. It's going to snow, I promise. Somewhere in this outlined area, you guys are going to see some sort of snow. I wouldn't push it that far south, actually. Anywhere over in this outlined area, you guys could see some snow. It just really, really, really depends on where the low tracks, how much moisture, and just where the heaviest band of snow sits. We just really don't know yet. You cannot accurately forecast snowfall, measurable snowfall at least, until you're around 48 to maybe even 24 hours out. I like to forecast mine until I'm around 24 to 12 hours out. I'm going to be over in St. Louis this weekend, so I will not be able to make a video. I'll probably make one tomorrow morning, depending on how I wake up. And I'll give you guys the latest information. But we'll go and take a look at the model trends tomorrow morning. But right now, it looks like the heaviest snow is going to be over in central portions of Arkansas and over in western and central Kentucky, with around 5 to 4 inches of snow accumulating. So, yeah, we'll be having to watch this. This is obviously going to be something that's going to be unfolding across the central portions and southern portions of the United States. Yeah, so the big story, Arctic air, is coming in for this upcoming weekend. But we can't forget about the severe weather risk. Please be careful for today. An enhanced risk, 10% hatch risk for tornadoes across central Arkansas, 30% wind risk, and a 15% hatch risk. And then for tomorrow, an enhanced risk, a large expansive 10% hatch risk for the possibility of a tornado or two. One of them could be strong. 30% hatch risk for damaging winds within 25 miles of a point. And then a 15% hail risk. So please be careful for today if you live over in central portions of Arkansas, northern portions of Louisiana, and western portions of, eastern portions of Texas and southern portions of Oklahoma. Please be careful for today. Enhanced risk is out. And then also, if you live over in central portions of Georgia, central portions of South Carolina, and eastern portions of Alabama, and slightly western portions of North Carolina for tomorrow, please also be weather aware. Tomorrow looks like to be the main show, but also don't forget about the cold core setup if you live over in western Kentucky and central Kentucky. Be keeping an eye on that. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be making a video tomorrow morning probably, but I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there for this upcoming cold and severe weather. I'll see you guys.